They say humans are social.
Alright, what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here back with a video, and today we are going over a little game here that had a beta this weekend called Black Ops 4. Now, I hope some of you that were in the chat on Thursday night's live stream when we watched and played the Black Ops 4 beta. If you were, shout out to you. If not, make sure to keep it liked here on the channel, subscribe, keep your notifications on for when we go live, when we stream some games, because I really want to stream a little bit more on this channel, but obviously, you know, it doesn't really happen sometimes. Either I'm too busy or this and the third, whatever. But I really want to try and really stream a little bit more here on the channel. But this is not about streaming. This is about, of course, Black Ops 4, the beta, of course, and my impressions on it. So essentially how I'm going to do this video is I wrote down 10 big sections of the beta that I found that I was wanting to comment on or talk about in general. So this is going to be my, I guess, top 10 impressions of Black Ops 4, the beta. So let's start with the first one here. Of course, a lot of people are talking about the time to kill, and it's honestly a little bit longer than in past Call of Duties, with the health being at 150 instead of 100. So obviously that's going to affect all of these sort of weapons and how long it takes to kill. And this is probably honestly the longest time to kill we've had in that Call of Duty. Probably ones that come to mind that were long, like pretty much any of the Treyarch games had really long time to kill. And for me, those are my favorite Call of Duties for a reason that I will talk about in the reason why I like the high time to kill in this game. But long story short, there are benefits and there are drawbacks to the time to kill being long. So let's go over the negatives that you'll find here. So of course, having a long time to kill, that's going to mean that you're going to lose a considerable amount of gunfights. At least I felt that I was a lot. So obviously, you know, the average COD player is going to definitely get a little aggressive, a little negative because you're losing all these gunfights. But to me, it really, you know, became a more of an awakening to, oh snap, headshots here in this game are actually viable and they're very effective again, as they weren't in World War II, with that game having a low headshot multiplier. So definitely this game is going to have a lot of people, and especially yourselves, you know, hoping that you would have aimed.
You should have gone for the head.
You what?
But to me, with that negative aspect of it, there was a great positive that I feel is always a positive with high time to kills. That means that you have the chance to actually outmaneuver someone and outplay someone, even if they are a lesser or sometimes greater skill than you. So I feel that, you know, with the high time to kill, it gives you a chance to really examine a gunfight. Let's say you're getting shot in the back. You know, all hope is not lost when you get shot in the back in this game. You can easily make a turn and make a play and get that kill, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I definitely like the high time to kill. But next up, let's move on to the weapons. So at least for me, as generally speaking, for most Call of Duty games that are developed by Treyarch, obviously this one's made by Treyarch, all of them felt very, very balanced and fun to use, and felt like they had some sort of position to fill within the game, you know what I'm saying, within the game's meta. So of course, the ARs felt really good and balanced. For me, the AK in this game, which is the KN-77, was an absolutely great gun and everything. The ICR is exactly the same niche it felt in Black Ops 3, where it has low damage but also low recoil, so it's very easy to get a lot of shots on target with that low recoil. But even though it has low damage, it's totally fine because you get all those shots on target most times. And in this game, I believe they did it for Ghost. I believe they actually split up the semi-automatic rifles and also the burst rifles into this new class of weapons here called tactical rifles. So these are obviously your semi-autos and your burst rifles, where definitely aiming is going to be essential with these weapons. You don't want to spray and pray these weapons. These are for the players that are going to be very accurate with their shots, and obviously all these weapons have a very high damage profile to them. So honestly, I thought they were pretty okay. I kind of enjoyed the AUG burst that was there in the game, but I didn't really love it that much. I think it needs probably like a little more tweaking, like in my opinion, somewhere around there. I'm not sure what it was with the weapon. It just didn't feel that comfortable to me. So I think there's definitely gonna be some tweaks with those weapons, but I thought they were pretty okay, honestly. And then we also have the, of course, the shotguns here, which have been moved to the secondary slot for this game as well. I mainly tried out the MOG 12, which was the pump action shotgun. I thought it was very, very great. Didn't feel weak at all, honestly. It was a very consistent 2-hit kill, like it says in the description of the weapon. So to me, definitely fine with that shotgun. The pistols are awful, so don't even go with those. There is a Magnum in the beta that I didn't get to try yet. I didn't get it unlocked, so hopefully I will grind for that and get that probably next week, hopefully. But I did not get my hand on that Magnum. A lot of people were enjoying that one, so assuming that one was really good. And going on to the LMGs, I believe the only one in the beta, and the one at least I use personally, was the Titan. Honestly, pretty good, not that bad. I know LMGs don't really get a lot of love in Call of Duty for the mass of players, but honestly, this Titan LMG was pretty dope. It really helped me in control and some other objective game modes as well, holding down different choke points, different hallways. So definitely enjoyed the Titan LMG, and it paired, you know, surprisingly well with the shotgun as well. So pretty good combo to have right there. These snipers, they aren't really my thing, didn't try them, but according to this Pamaj clip on Twitter, I guess they're really working out for him. And those snipers, we will probably talk about them in a little bit in this video, but going on to, of course, the, I believe, weapon that's probably going to dominate this entire game, that is the SMGs. They are very, very strong. The ones that I tried at least, which are the MX9 and the GKS, honestly, they're both really, really good. I like the MK9 for a little bit more of a longer range. I suppose the GKS is definitely very, very strong up close. Obviously, they both are, but I feel like the MX9 has a bit of an edge when it comes to long range, personally. But overall, great SMGs, great SMG class and everything. So I feel honestly all weapons here have a place in this game, and you don't have a fulfilling role to fulfill in this game. So I feel the weapons are pretty good where they're at right now. Moving on to the maps, honestly, they felt very, very good to me personally. They had that usual 3-lane layout that works very well for Call of Duty, and has been a staple in the franchise for a long time here. They also offer a lot of variety within the actual maps in terms of close quarters and long range as well, in the form of having our different 3 lanes within a given map have different kind of routes for the close quarters weaponry that you'll be holding versus the long range route. So you have a long range route that might have very, very long straightaways and everything, as opposed to a close quarters route which will have a bunch of little small layoffs or small little rooms or small corridors over that you will have to go and maneuver around. So like definitely there's routes that you can take as a player on each map that I at least picked up on, where you can, you know, go, if you have SMG, it might be a little better to go this route, or an AR might be better to go that route. So definitely like how they have that and everything. And also there's a lot of color to these maps. They look fun, they're vibrant, they're really cool to look at. They're not like some sort of gray grunginess like we see in past Call of Duties. They're very, very nice and colorful, staying true to Treyarch's way of doing things. So definitely enjoy the maps here on this beta. Next up here, a lot of times you'll be spending a lot, of course, of your Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta time in the menu. And honestly, to me, the menu, I do not love it. I'm getting used to it. I don't really love it that much. You have to select items tied to your analog stick, so there is no way to maneuver around menu systems with just your D-pad. You have to use an analog stick, and honestly, I don't love it. I'm getting used to it. Honestly, over time, it's getting pretty okay for me. It's, you know, kind of settling in, and maybe it'll just be totally fine upon the second beta, you know, weekend or upon release. I'm sure it'll be okay, but as of right now, I don't love the menu system, and I hope that they add maybe D-pad support for that one, but I don't see that coming. Maybe, who knows. I just don't love the system right now. But one thing I do love here is that this game gives you a lot of intel about you and about your playstyle and about how you're playing overall. And this goes very, very deep. I suppose it's just the barracks, which I wish we could see the barracks right now, because I really want to see my win-loss, my KD and everything and all that. But what it does give you in this beta, at least, is that it gives you your average kills, average kill death, and your average win-loss ratios for every map, dependent on the mode as well. So it's very, very detailed in that way. You can figure out, okay, I am the best, you know, average killer, you know, in this map on this mode. Or you can say, hey, me and my squad, we win the most on this map on this mode. So it's very, very cool to see that. It's very detailed and everything, and I cannot wait to see what the full barracks has, because if they're doing this for just the loading screen for maps, I really want to see what we have in store for the barracks. Now let's talk about the streaks here on this beta. Of course, Call of Duty known for their streaks. Of course, UAV works as it should, totally fine with that. Care package honestly doesn't really tickle my fancy. Really, I don't really like to wait for that care package. It takes a little bit long of a time to get into the map, and I feel like I could be using my time a lot more wisely in a given match as opposed to waiting for a care package. So definitely don't love the care package as is right now. Of course, that's how it's always been. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of the care package, but I think it takes a little bit too long for my liking here, at least on this beta. Now the attack chopper, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of people that they're really liking it. I don't see that. I had it a few times in the beta. Didn't really do a lot for me personally. I think one game it probably did like over 4 kills, but other than that, I was getting like just a bunch of assists with it, maybe 1 kill, a bunch of hit markers. So definitely was not feeling the attack chopper, at least in this beta and everything. And I've seen a lot of people get a lot of kills with the Sentry, the Mantis, the gunship. So of course those I'm assuming are pretty good, but at least the ones that I tried out other than the UAV really wasn't really the best for me personally. And of course the R60 is still in this game, so it's just as annoying of course. But one more thing here that I should note here, at least in the streaks category, is that you get a lot of points in this game. You get a lot of points for literally doing just about anything. Like if you're over here and you even get like a slight assist on it, you will still get credit for a kill, honestly, in this game. So very, very cool, and you should be earning a lot of streaks here in a better, more easyable fashion than they were in the past. Now let's go into those specialists. Now in this beta, we got 10 specialists of course, and I didn't really enjoy them that much in Black Ops 3. I felt like they were just really gimmicky, low-key, and I only really stayed with just one specialist, and that was the Vision Pulse or Reaper's Death Machine. Really, those are the only two I really used a lot in Black Ops 3. I didn't really venture that much from other ones, maybe a little bit the Tempest here and there, but not really that much with the Tempest. But in Black Ops 4, I find myself caring a lot about which specialists I'm bringing into the match and reasons why I'm bringing them in. So I'm gonna just list a few here that I found were very useful in the beta. For me, the Prophet was really cool with his Tempest. That's pretty new. It has a different layout, and it's not really a one-hit kill anymore. It's a one hit and you're down and you'll slowly die, or if you shoot them again, of course they're gonna die. So that was the Tempest updates for this game. And then the Secret Mine as well, which I liked. It was strong, but honestly it's one of those things where once you get it done to you, it is not that fun. The Secret, I feel, needs a reduction in its stun time personally. I feel like it's just a little bit too long in the paint from when you're stunned and you really can't move, because you literally can't move, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to be fair, the game gives you a chance to press square fast enough to cancel out that Seeker and be able to just like brush it off, but if you don't catch it, you are gonna get screwed. So definitely don't like how it takes that long in the stun time, but I think that will get adjusted here in the end of this beta. So the Purifier was of course with the Fire Break, and honestly I'm liking the Fire Break a lot. I think the Fire Break is probably going to be my go-to specialist for a lot of Black Ops 4. I think it's great, and what's great about him is not just the Purifier, but the Reactor Core is what is great about Fire Break, because he just busts it out and he does damage through walls, does damage to enemy players, and also it kind of gives you a little indicator about where people are on the map and where people are in the close vicinity of you. So definitely like that as well. Also, it's very great for, of course, objective modes, getting people off flags, getting people off of bomb sites, whatever, stuff like that. The Reactor Core is pretty dope, honestly. And then we of course have the Recon Specialist. That one is going to have Vision Pulse. Like I said before, I love Vision Pulse whenever I can get it, and the Sensor Dart as well, which gives you like a little proximity UAV in a small tight space, so you can put it up on the wall and be able to see different people that walk into that vicinity of the Sensor Dart. So honestly, all these are really good, honestly, and even looking over these right now, I really cannot pick my favorite out of those three. I think they're all really great. They have different really cool stuff to them and everything, and I think it's great. And so there's a few things I have with the specialists that are a bit of an issue, honestly. The game only allows one specialist a team, and I thought it would bother me, and I really thought it would just be like a whole like loop and cumbersome. And of course they have alleviated that with Chaos TDM, allowing you to have 2 of the same specialists on a given team, so it kind of helps out that little issue. But I kind of found it a little bit fun to just really mess around and just pick a random specialist and just do my best in a given match. I found that a little bit fun to me personally. I know once I get some more months into the game and everything, I'm going to have my favorites, and I'm going to want to pick my favorites, similar to Overwatch, where it's like, hey, there are some characters in Overwatch I would just straight up not use just because they're not my guys. You know, like, I have my main like 4 or 5 that I switch between, and that's it. So maybe that'll be the same thing that happened in Black Ops 4, where I won't just have one singular specialist that I like. I will have a bunch that I will just pick through whenever someone picks my other choice that I would have rather had, right? So I think that's pretty okay right there. But there is some issues where when you're loading into a match, the game will just auto pick your specialist without even giving you a chance to pick one. So that's a bit of an issue that I see in the beta right now. But other than that, I think specialists are really cool in this game. They're really good. Personally, I think they're dope. Next up here, good old create a class. So create a class, of course, has your usual wild cards like perk greeds and primary and secondary gunfighters to put more attachments on them. All that stuff is already there, but they have a new addition to the create a class here called perk gluttony. So these allow you to pick 3 perks from the same tier. So you can pick 3 perks from the tier 1 category instead of having to only do 2 from tier 1 and then 1 from tier 2 or whatever. You can, legit have 3 perks from the same tier, which is pretty cool as well, I think. You know what I'm saying? There's also new weapon mods to the game that are on specific weapons that require you to level it up all the way to max level, or I think near max level. And these are insane, crazy, really good, or weapon changing attachments to the actual weapon. So these could be really cool stuff. Like, I know the shotguns have a fire type of shot. I forgot what it's called, but the fire breath, I think, or like dragon fire or something like that. I think it's what they call it, something like that. And so like they have really just cool strong attachments like that. Some of them have SMGs that go from a full auto to a burst. There's some, I think on the AUG there's a weapon mod that allows you to, when you keep doing shots in a row and keep doing bursts in a row, eventually those bursts will get, faster and faster in between shots. So that's really cool as well. So those just like a little wrinkle to the weapon mods that are pretty cool, but they require a wild card to be attached to the weapon before you can attach that specific attachment. So that will account for it being very powerful. You need to spend 2 points in your creator class to be able to attach those. And one thing that bothered me, in the same vein where sometimes when you go into a match, the game will auto select a specialist for you, they do the same thing with the classes, but it's a little bit different here. So the last class that you edited in the lobby will be the default class that the game selects you to already assume that you're going to want to use that class in a game. And of course, that's not always the case. So to me, I found that a little bit, bothersome and a little bit awkward for me to always have to switch my class around to the class that I really intended to in a given match, in a given map, even though I was editing a class that I wasn't going to use in that match, but just edited because I unlocked something on the weapon whenever, like most times it would be me picking up a weapon that I wasn't really using on my actual class in a given match, and I would unlock a attachment for that weapon that I picked up. So I'd go to my creator class in the lobby, I'd put that new attachment that I got onto the weapon that I wasn't using in that lobby but got it off the ground, and then the game would automatically assume that, oh, okay, he'll want to use a burst rifle on this map, which I didn't. I want to use SMG. So I think I would like them to add back the ability for you to pick your class before it auto selects a class for you. I think that would be great to have back in the game. I hope they add it back in the full game. We'll see. Next up here, let's talk about probably the biggest change of this game to the core mechanics of Call of Duty. That is that you have to manually regen your health. So I thought this would be very annoying. I thought it'd be very cumbersome. I thought it was a little bit of a waste of time. Like, why are we manually doing it when it was always auto regen and pretty much all the Call of Duties back in the day, and even up to this current day, with World War II also having auto regen. So that was very weird that they were adding this manual regen. But honestly, guys, I like it. I think it's very, very cool. It gives me a sense of agency, and I could pull out some pretty neat stuff in game, in combat, in a gunfight, right? And of course, there is the stem gear, which we will talk about a little bit later here. But just going back to the manual regen of health, I think it's really, really neat. I think it's honestly a great touch, and it adds a little bit more of a depth. And honestly, you will catch players that will be in gunfights, and you will duck in the cover, and you're healing, so you're assuming that they would heal, but you pop out and they didn't heal. So it's adding this like little, layer of skill where it's like, hey, you're gonna have to pay attention to how you're gonna heal yourself, and definitely want to heal in between those gunfights. Now, there are those gunfights that I've had personally on my beta where there will be a gunfight where I'll be with some other dude and he is smart with his heals just like I am, and so we'll both be just going back and forth, taking down our health just to almost death, and then healing and doing it again. So that gets a little bit annoying, but overall I really dig it. I really just like the manual regen. It's a little bit satisfying. It's really cool, honestly, and the stem gear is going to make it even better. So going on from that, let's talk about the gear in this game. So this is essentially another perk, and honestly there's a few of them. them, but really there is the main one that I will get to. But first off, just to say over here, the preface, just like this tweet from Optic Courage he put out, armor is those for who are bad at the game. If you put on armor, it is essentially just as bad as you putting on Jug back in the day when that was in the game of Call of Duty. Honestly, yo, look, stem shot is going to be the stopping power of this game. Armor is going to be the juggernaut. If you run armor, you are trash, low-key. I tried it here in the beta just because to try it purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta try it. I'm gonna be reviewing this beta like I am right now, so I definitely tried it this weekend, but I'm not gonna keep it on my classes here going into weekend number 2 because I'm no scrub. All right, you know what I'm saying? Armor is trash. Use the stem shot. There are a few of the ones that are pretty cool. That is essentially a hardline where you have to earn less points to get streaks. There's other ones that translate footsteps to different indicators on the map, so you have a better awareness of other people around you and everything, so that's pretty cool. But overall, stem shot is going to be, I believe, the stopping power of this game, where a lot of people are going to rock stem shot because it's honestly the best gear. You heal faster and you heal more often. That is crucial to this new different mechanic that we have in this game where you have to manually regen your health. So I think it's very, very good overall. Now, what are my lasting thoughts here on the game? So overall, I think it's a really good Call of Duty game, of course, with its issues that are already here, but may also come up in the future once people start unlocking things, right? So first off here, for me to see the score in a given game mid-game is a little bit weird to me. The placement is like somewhere random. I think it's like under the minimap. Honestly, I don't like where it's placed currently. I think it just looks like it doesn't pop out as much as you'd think it will pop out, because, you know, most times you're definitely going to want to look at the score in a given game and stuff like that. So for me, I found myself trying to look for the score and wasting a lot of time with it, so I think that needs to be changed, maybe like bolder or something like that, or just make it pop a little bit more in a, you know, in a match on the HUD, right? So I think that needs to be affected. Snipers, I think, need a little bit of tuning. I don't know if that means slowing down the ADS time just by a little bit, or doing something else, or maybe making them a little bit more inaccurate, but that Pomage clip is crazy. And yes, he is skilled, but that is insane. And I've been seeing a lot of people, you know, in game, especially during like day 3 of the beta on Sunday. A lot of people were sniping and everything, and it's looking to be a little bit annoying. It could be an issue. I'm just saying it could be an issue. So maybe they might need to tone it on just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you're skilled, if you are a skilled player, I think you know, should have the ability to be good at a sniper, right? I don't think that these snipers should be trash and should be garbage and use only, you know, like, you know, a traditional sniper should be used where you're having to hard scope all these people. Okay, I think that if you are skilled with a sniper, let it be skilled, but just make it harder to master the snipers, in my opinion. Also, some small stuff in the menu, giving the ability to cycle through all the specialists as opposed to just picking one to showcase on the menu. I think that just add a little bit more variety to the menu and make it a little more fun, because yeah, I've been showing off Prophet, it's cool, but I think if they cycle through them all, or maybe showcase the last specialist you use, that'd be cool. But I think there should be an option to cycle through all of them to give it a little more variety. And then we have those sequel attachments. So if you don't know what I'm saying here, for example, there's High Caliber 2, right? So High Caliber 2, there's High Caliber 1, which of course gives you a better headshot multiplier, but then there's High Caliber 2, which gives you the same upgraded damage multiplier to the upper chest. And so that could be a little bit issuative there, where you're gonna have the same headshot multiplier but for just the upper chest. So it might be way easier to get kills, and it may, you know, be well easier to get melted and everything. There's also Long Barrel 2, which eliminates the range based damage fall off, which is crazy, right? So listen here, okay guys, if you guys aren't aware, fall off damage essentially is where, okay, in Call of Duty you have a pistol, right? Let's say the pistol does 2 or 3 shots up close, okay? Of course, over a distance it's gonna do 5 shots, 6 shots, etc., right? So apparently this Long Barrel 2 will eliminate that damage drop off, so it will always be a 2 to 3 shot kill at no matter what range. I think that is gonna be questionable. Obviously, well, not obviously, I'm sorry, these attachments aren't on all weapons, they are on certain weapons that you have access to. So there are some SMGs that have Long Barrel 2, there's some weapons that have High Caliber 2, etc. So they're not on all weapons, but I think with the weapons that are enabled with these sequel attachments, it could be an issue, I'm thinking, once the masses get onto this game. And so look, with all that being said, with all those negatives I just listed about the game, with all the issues that the game has and could potentially have, I had so much fun playing this game, guys. I don't think I can fully just really explain how much fun I had. I want you to just paint this, okay? I had work today at 11:30 a.m., okay? Classical morning shift, I had the double, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I intentionally woke up at 9 a.m. to play Black Ops 4 for just a little bit, just a few matches in before my shift. Do you understand how much it takes me to wake up at 9 a.m., guys? It takes heaven and earth. It takes a miracle to do that for me, right? So for me to be able to literally feel like I have to switch my sleep schedule to play this game, I think we have a really good Call of Duty, guys. I think this is a really, really good game here. Of course, it is the honeymoon phase. I know it, guys. I've been playing COD for years now. I understand what that honey phase is. I know that it could be a long time. It could be a short time. For me, World War II, very, very short. I stopped playing that game like a month in. I was done with World War II, honestly, and I haven't touched it in a long time. And yes, there are DLC packs that I have just not touched. I just don't care about World War II. I just don't like it that much. But this game right here, I haven't had this much fun with Call of Duty, genuinely, honestly speaking, since Black Ops 1. And that is with Black Ops 2 being a great game, Black Ops 3 being a great game, but there is just something about this game that reminds me of just, you know, Kev when he was like 13 years old playing Black Ops 1 and playing it until his eyes were red and the sun was coming up. Honestly, this game is fun to me, at least, and you know, I could eat my words here. We could be looking back on this video like 6 months later and being like, yeah, this game ended up being trash and was garbage, but at least how it is right now in beta form, if they keep it the way it is right now, make a few changes here and there, fix what needs to be fixed and stuff like that, I think we have our hands on a very good Call of Duty game. And wow, this video is 25 minutes long. That is crazy. But if you all enjoyed and stuck around for the entirety of this video, make sure to leave a like on the video as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest grades in PlayStation. And make sure to also check out the description where you can find the Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on there. Thank you for watching, and as always, catch you in the next one.